Okay, before we get started with today's video, I wanted to take the time to promote my merch because I never do. I have these Goddess Nutrition Facts hoodies on the website. They come in about 4 or 5 different colors. If you guys purchase the Goddess Nutrition Facts crop tops and tees, which are on sale right now, if you didn't know, you can get one. I now made these. So I have the sweatshirts and then I have the hoodies that are available on my website. Click the link in the description box below and go get you one. Whoever you are, you and your name, your legacy, and what you create is going to be known all over the world. Whatever career field that you go into, whatever creative endeavor that you embark on, whatever it is, it could be anything. It could be music. It could be acting. You could be a world-renowned chef. It could be artistry. It could be so many different things. So many different things. Do not limit yourself or put yourself into a box. This is for someone who is extremely creative. You have a ton of ideas. And you recently, or within the last year or so, embarked on a journey where you began using one of your gifts, one of your creative hobbies or ideas. It took a lot of pushing, but you did it. And when you did it, it sparked something in you and made you kind of feel like you found your purpose again. And because you did that, because you took that chance on yourself, you're going to be immensely blessed. And before you know it, the world is going to know about you and they're going to become inspired by your story of not giving up and remaining focused on the vision that God gave you. And you're going to touch a lot of people. You're not just going to be someone who is known worldwide and makes a lot of money and has a lot of success. You're also going to be someone who has inspired so many people and is known for being a positive person and touching the hearts of many and sharing your story and helping people relate to you because of your past and the things that you have came from. You did not start this for clout. You didn't start whatever this is that you were doing. This wasn't for clout. This wasn't for fame or for money. This was because God put something on your heart and he reminded you who you were and he wanted you to showcase your gifts to the world. Like, God had a huge hand into your journey. And you may have been someone who you were never interested or even thought it would be possible to have fame or be someone who is in the public eye or whatever. That may not be you. For some of y'all already knew. You knew you were going to be famous. You knew since you was a kid. This is something that you basically manifested. You always felt in your heart the world was supposed to know your name. So there's definitely going to be 2 categories of people. But for those of you who didn't think this was possible and didn't really want it, God was doing this. God was helping you and pushing you to where you were supposed to go because he needed the world to see you. And he also wanted you to understand who you were and your power, because for a long time you tried to sit in the background. You are a humble person. You try to stay in the back. You don't ever try to be too loud or be too noisy. And you may have even experienced where people try to shut you up and make you sit down. And no, like, God was tired of watching that because he knew the entire time this was going on that you had a big purpose and you were bigger than the people around you. And the people around you were keeping you small. So he got rid of the people and helped you get rid of the people around you who were trying to keep you small, because there's something he wanted you to do, something he wanted you to see, and he wanted the world to know you and know your story, because you're the type of person, when you get to where you're going, you're going to make sure that people know God had a hand in it. You're going to remind people and tell people your walk with God and everything that you experience on your journey. And you're going to remind people that, yeah, you put in a lot of work. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of going hungry, a lot of losing people. Yeah, you did all those things, but you know God was there with you. And there's no way you would have survived what you went through if it was not for God. And you're going to remind people of that and let people know that, which is exactly why God wants to push you and put you in this position. Some of you may or may not have seen this video, but a long time ago, I posted a video talking about I think the title of the video was "You're Being Moved to the Front of the Line." And in that video, I talked about a lot of people are going to be snatched out of their positions because of how they got their positions, and how the world is shifting and the world is changing into a new earth, basically, where it's no longer about clout and toxicity and money and fame. It's about being genuine and being authentic and self-love. Like, we're bringing, a lot of people are waking up and we're bringing love back into this world. And I talked about, of course, how before that happens, we're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see a lot of destruction. We're gonna see a little bit of chaos, because we're shifting the entire world. And that's not just gonna happen with a snap of a finger. It's gonna take time to break down these systems and these industries that were put in place, and them being ran by these lower level energies, because it's time for the higher ups, the higher level energies, the positive beings, the light workers, whatever you want to call it. It's time for us to rise up and get into position. And a lot of us have been preparing for this for a long time. You're one of those people. So I said that to say, if you notice right now, a lot of people are being snatched out of their positions. If we're just speaking strictly industry, a lot of people are having a fall from grace. A lot of people are being snatched out of their positions. A lot of people who we never expected, and a lot of people looked up to, are being exposed for being fraud and being nasty and shisty and toxic and all types of stuff. It's a lot of stuff getting exposed right now, and it's not the end. And I told y'all, it's going to be people you're not going to expect. And there's a reason for that. It's because the world is waking up and love is on the rise again, and these people need to be removed so you can get in that spot. Yeah, you're going to have success, you're going to have wealth, you're going to have fame for some of you, but you are being put in this position because you're going to know what to do with it. And not only that, you're going to remind people of God and help people come to God and love themselves and heal, which is why you get to be there, because the people who are there are not doing anything with their positions. They're not really contributing anything to this society and this world. And as a collective, yes, it's about a personal journey, but if you know anything about energy, the energy that you put out and the frequency that people emit together as communities is what changes the trajectory of like events and time and people and all types of stuff. And I can get into that, but I'm not. Let me stay on track. But you get what I'm saying. So it's time for a new era of legends to step to the front, and you are going to be one of them. Like I said, the world is going to know you. The world is going to know who you are. They're going to be inspired by you. You are going to bring something completely different to whatever industry that you are stepping into, and do it your way. Don't look at what other people are doing and think that, wow, I don't know how I'm going to get into this industry. I don't know how I'm going to do this because I'm different. Like, what I'm bringing is something different. I don't know if they'll accept me. And I know right now it seems like they're only allowing a certain type of person into the industry, but this is just a trend, and people are going to get bored with trends. You have to be the one to walk into these industries, walk into these rooms, walk into these meetings, and you got to be the one to dare to be different and bring something different. A lot of the greatest of all time in any industry, they're in their own lane. There's not really anybody you can compare them to, because the way they do things is completely authentically their own. You have to make sure that no matter what, you remain authentic, because what happens is, to a lot of people, they get into these spaces and they let the people who are cutting their check change them, and then they get washed up and burnt out with the rest of them. Don't let that be you, because you're seeing dollar signs. Because I always tell y'all, it's not about who gets there, it's about who stays there and who has the longevity. You want to make sure that you have longevity in your industry. You need to be authentic. You need to be you. Whatever is happening right now is divinely guided to happen, and you have been being prepared to step into the spotlight. This is not a message for everybody. I'm talking to the people who already know. You know, and you can feel it. You can almost touch it. That's how close it is for you. Just know that you are meant to be there and you're protected. You are not afraid anymore. You don't have fear. You are willing to step out on faith. You are willing to take risks. You are willing to be that rebel and that badass person who's like, I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm not waiting on y'all. I'm not worried about y'all's opinion. I'm going after what I want. And y'all can sit around and be miserable all you want to. I'm not going to sit around and be miserable because I only have one life to live. And I know where I'm going. And I know what God promised me that I'm going to get. And I'm going to go get it. Because I'm not going to get it sitting around on my hands or sitting twiddling my thumbs. I have to take action. It doesn't matter if during my action and during my process, it's sloppily done. It doesn't matter if it's not all aesthetically pleasing and perfect. It doesn't matter if people are judging me. I'm doing it though. I'm doing what other people are too afraid to do. And the same people who are judging me for what I'm doing don't even have the balls to do what I'm doing. And the same people who think they can do it better, if they stepped out here and tried to do it, they would flop. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. But the ones who are like, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to go out here and do it. I'm not going to care what anybody has to say. Those are the ones who reach success. They stay there longer because they weren't trying to be perfect and they didn't care about the opinions of others. They had a dream. They had a creative idea. They had a thought in their brain and they brought it into the physical form. And guess what? They ate. And that's exactly what you did, honey. You ate. Whatever field you were in, you ate them up and left no crumbs. And this is why the world is going to know exactly who you are.